Hello everyone, and welcome back to Yosemite Valley on Wednesday. Today this episode will rock, because we are literally exactly doing this, placing down 1.5 million rocks, it almost feels like. But no, we gotta talk, and this is also a good thing that this episode won't be super exciting in terms of what is in the actual build, but it's super exciting in terms of what we are preparing for the future. So first of all, we are starting over here with the wonderful area of the bird show, which in fact is a little bit of a tricky thing because we don't get birds in the game, but we will get the animal talks, which in fact leads me to the assumption that this could be a cool corner around here where we have some educators talking to the guests. I mean, potentially this might not work out exactly the way I was hoping, but I needed to at least try the best I could to change this little area. So what we had done, I think it was like a year ago, we built this bird show area, which is very much inspired by a little area that is close by where I live, where you can actually sit down in the middle, and then you have like a bird trainer standing there, and then he's kind of having all these lovely little snacks for the birds, and they, like an eagle or something comes fly by, and then you can see the bird landing on these gears over there, or sometimes even if you're lucky, or if you're having birthday, they even do land on your arm. You're having this kind of leather gloves, and they do land on your arms, and then you're just kind of amazed by how heavy those birds are. You don't really think about that, and that they lift up in the air is kind of crazy. But yeah, what I wanted to do today, I wanted to build this area, in fact, turn this into something usable for us. So what I do, you will see in a bit, I will put down an exhibit over here. The sole reason why I do this is to fake an animal in here, because as the animal talks, as far as I know from what we've seen in the forums, we'll need an animal obviously close by, and we don't have one over here because it's all fake. It's all just for cosmetic reasons. I needed to have something, and you can see I can basically hide that behind this wall, and I still wanted to make like an accessible pathway to there from the staff members, because we kind of need to clean it. But yeah, so this is what I did over here, just to make sure that we have something that the educator can refer to, and then I turned the whole plaza into something actual, yeah, education spot, so to say, and I really hope that this works out. I was trying a few little things here and there in order to make this look a bit better, but I ended up keeping it the way it is for the moment, because I still have no real idea how exactly it's gonna work out. So yeah, I tried removing some stuff over here, but at the end I'm just keeping the area as it is, and then we will turn this into an actual animal talk area. So that's the first bit over here. But I guess you guys are mostly excited about what is happening afterwards, because yeah, we're looking at the right stuff over here already. It is there. We have confirmation. The Aquatic DLC will come. And let's not talk about the fact that this is only 5 animals this time. Let's talk more about the fact that we finally get this new mechanic in the game. I mean, it was quite ridiculous to talk about a zoo game without having diving animals. I think over the last couple of weeks you have really felt that I was getting a little bit more salty about it, simply because I was like, yeah, you know, a year in to development, I don't know, potentially it's time to have it, and I was losing a little bit of hope and a little bit of trust if it really would happen. Rumor had it that we get penguins and stuff, but I was like, okay, this time I'm not gonna pay too much attention, and I'm not gonna have too much hype here before I really know about this. And then Monday's announcement of all these aquatic things already hinted at the fact that it might be confirmed, and yesterday we finally got it. And in case you guys haven't seen, I made a video about the update. You can click it onto one of these info buttons to the top right, and then watch it if you haven't heard about it. But if not, are you living under a rock or on the moon? I don't know. It's amazing news, and I am more happy about the fact that we opened the door for semi-aquatic animals rather than the animals themselves, even though they are amazing. Don't get me wrong, I love to have penguins and seals and just otters, and that's really cool, but like the fact that we finally have diving in the game in about a week's time really opens the door for finally more variation in this game. I think it's desperately needed to not make it kind of vanish in the void of a unfinished zoo builder. And yeah, I think Frontier at least managed to restore a little bit of trust by the fact that I did this, that they went this path, and now you know, with Christmas approaching, it makes a lot of sense for them. And I really hope that, you know, sales skyrocket, because then we can hope that potentially they get a bit more budget for the next year to keep on doing what they do. And then we might just get some bigger packs where we do pay some more money for, and then that's kind of, you know, that's the positive kind of spiral effect we need. We pay more money for the DLCs, they get more money, they can pay more people, they have more power, they can build more animals and kind of create more animals and give them to us, and everyone is happy. So that's my plan for 2021. Frontier, just listen to it, copy paste it, it's done. You don't need help anymore. I fixed your issues, okay? So talking of issues, we also had an issue with this canyon over here. People were complaining last episode that there is something missing at the end, which in fact was the waterfall. And I'm really on your side. There was something missing, so we are doing this. So today's episode is again very much focused on fixing most of the issues to make this zoo ready for the integration of these aquatic animals. And oh boy, am I happy that I have already 2 out of 4 habitats done. It's kind of crazy to think about. Actually, I have like 2.5 done, because the beaver habitat could be changed into an otter habitat, even though I still have no idea how exactly the diving works. So in case diving works, I will do like a proper testing on that. Don't you worry. I will test this completely, so just to understand how exactly the mechanics works in the game, like if they can swim around obstacles in the water, or if they need like a calculated water volume, or how exactly it's going to work. This is going to be exciting. Maybe they're even giving us some info beforehand, but if not, I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the traversable area, just, you know, make a huge test in what is possible and what not, and if possible, I will definitely make something where the animals can dive under the rock and then just come out in their little cave, so that guests only can see them through the viewing gallery. I think that would be lovely. But, you know, you never know. I will have to wait until we can get our hands and hooves onto it and see what is happening. But yeah, so you can see this corner around here, get a little beautification with some rocks, a lot of foliage around here, the water dripping down from this little source over there. And also people were commenting lately, and I found this a very nice comment, because I did not... Well, I did know it, but I did not know it by heart. Yosemite still has a lot of waterfalls, and this park lacks a few waterfalls. So definitely what I still want to do is a bit more of a Yosemite Fall inspired area, and I'm really sure that I might be able to pull that off in a way. And the thing is, I want to find an area where it actually suits, and this area is basically under construction right now on your screen. It's not going to be done in this episode, but this is already the preparation. So like, I did not like this mountain over here. In fact, I hated it. Like, it was really a pinnacle in my eye for the last 6 months. Honestly, I just never found the time to do it, because like there was always something else was more important. But this mountain just, it didn't fit, you know. The other mountains were all very nicely shaped. I, you know, put a lot of time and effort in to make sure that the shaping looks, you know, interesting, and at the same time still offers enough viewing spots from everywhere in the zoo. And I wanted to create more of this canyon valley feeling than it was beforehand. So I don't know, when I was starting this, I really don't know why I had this wonderful idea to completely create a custom map. I still hate myself for that, but you know, once I went that path, I have to finish it, I guess. So what I'm doing over here, you can see, is basically creating a bit more of a clean looking mountain face over here, just to make sure. And also, fun story about, you know, flying over Yosemite in Microsoft Flight Simulator lately, also again showed me that I was still a little bit too open over here. Like, Yosemite Valley is a little bit more cramped, in fact. I did not know that. I mean, you know, that's the problem being I haven't been there in real life, see? It would have been very helpful, I guess, but I wasn't. So yeah, I just have to still look at photos or fly over there in Microsoft Flight Simulator. What else are we doing in a COVID year, right? But no, you know, real talk, I didn't really like the mountain, and I needed to reshape that, so I'm a bit more happy about this right now. It was kind of a little pain later on. You will see that I am even doing a new rock face design in today's episode, because for a brief moment of time, I had the idea that I could really do the actual texturing, but then again, I couldn't. Like, it wasn't possible. It was really not possible, because it's just like, you could use the pieces and you could do it technically, but my computer really does not like to have well, honestly, over 100 different rocks just for like one, not square meter, but like, let's say, one tile of 10 by 10 meters. So it's, yeah, no, but it's just like way too piece consuming for really not that much more nice looking facade. I'm a little bit, you know, you can hear it hopefully from my talking. I'm a little bit struggling with this decision because, as you can see, the in-game texture is obviously insanely repetitive. It almost looks like a testing texture over here. So I was really trying my best to blend in different textures to make sure it's not as repetitive. But at the very end, guys, it's just not possible to make it look good looking with the in-game textures. It's just like they are not made for such a huge scale. They are more made for like a closer scale where you're really looking at it and the texture can shine. It is obviously a high-res texture, but the amount of repeating of the texture itself is just very high. And you can see I'm starting to blend that in, but I just couldn't get the right texturing out of it. Like I tried my best also to put in the grass, because the grass really has the big advantage that the grass isn't as repetitive, simply because it's grass and you do have these kind of slight effects in there. But yeah, it just didn't work out. I was trying to make it a bit more rough and then, yeah, you know, do some shading with a darker part of it. And just in general, I think it looked kind of okay, but it also looked like very dull. And then I decided, okay, you know what, I'm just trying my best again if I can do it. And now we are in here. I used the in-game pieces, and now you can see the piece count will skyrocket in the next upcoming 2-ish minutes. I just used it, but I didn't use it to the extent that I was thinking I would at the beginning. So my idea really when I was starting that is I'm gonna do like this entire thing now as like a full rock facade and like build it only out of these rocks, which I think is possible. I think it would be possible if I would spend like 8 to 12 hours on it. That's definitely doable. Like, you know, design wise, I don't see an issue here, but to be honest, there's the inner businessman in me now. I don't see the input-output ratio here being any good for me. So I left it where it is because we need the time and the effort for the new upcoming DLC and the wonderful patch and the animal talks and the new rocks and the new pieces. And oh my god, there's so much new stuff in there. Did I even tell you that I wanted also to go back to City Skylines? Yeah, no, I don't know. That's maybe not happening next week. Frontiers releases do always change my plans. But okay, I think it's still valid to say that I might get back into it next year. Or maybe at the end of the year, who knows. I've got, like, you know, I've still some days off left. So I will take them early on. But I guess that will give me some time to do it. And do some more stuff. But yeah, I'm focusing first of all on the upcoming DLC because I have the feeling that we do pull a little bit more stuff out of it than with the recent DLCs, because the recent DLCs, whether it was the Australian one or the South American one, even though they were good, I felt like they were used after a couple of episodes already, simply because it was almost the same. It was like new animals, yes, but at the very end they did the same. And now, as we have totally new mechanics, we can start a new franchise zoo. We can do so much. I think that's helpful. Here you can see the new texture, how it turns out to be looking. I think it is definitely a step up from what we've done prior to this one. So we have a bit more texture variation in, and I think these temple pieces really do help to make it look kind of good. And you can see I'm changing a few of these color elements in here just to make it look a bit better. But then if you just really put that into the mountain, it just stops being that good. So you can really tell, in order to make that look really good, I would have needed to completely do the whole mountain. So what I decided is that I just use it partially and just make sure that I kind of cover this nicely with the terrain, and so that it blends in quite well. And you do have this little bit of, yeah, nice texture to it, which I think it works out pretty well. Just kind of, you know, just shaping it a bit nicer over here, making sure that it almost looks like some broken, very rough mountain edges or rock edges, or however you want to call them, and then just kind of trying to use the old pattern as well. You can see this is the old pattern. I'm still quite happy with it, but I think the new one was a bit more versatile. And yeah, when you Well, basically, when you have no idea left, the only thing that can help you is foliage. And what you want to do, obviously, is to throw in a lot of trees. And that is effectively what we're doing right now. I'm just going to use these like a little bit of false perspective. You can see that I used a lot more smaller trees, just to make sure that when you look up the hill, making these trees look smaller makes the hill look taller. It's kind of a little false perspective thing, because your eye expects like a smaller tree on top, because your eye is taught that there is a bigger distance, and so in the end there is like obviously smaller trees. So this is the reason why I use smaller trees, and then it looks like as if the whole mountain would be taller. It's like a very simple trick. You can just use the top of the pieces. You don't even need to use a smaller tree. You can just sink it in a little bit further into the ground, and then that looks good. But anyways, guys, that's been it with today's rocking episode. I really hope you enjoyed it, and in case you did enjoy, please make sure to consider subscribing, because I will also cover the upcoming Aquatic DLC quite a lot in this project over here, but obviously we are also going to make some one-offs and so on. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Have a good day, stay safe everyone, and goodbye.